Hello my owlets, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be setting up April in my Creative Daily Journal. If you guys were with me through the process of creating this journal, you know that I was going to be using it for my everyday journal, like that I write a lot of my just randomness or purely personal things. And then I also usually have a journal that I call my Creative Daily Journal, which is where I add a lot of photos. I add just different little ephemera throughout the day. And this is one of this was what this journal was going to be, combining both of these. But as I got into the process of using this journal, I realized this gets really bulky. It doesn't really fit in my bag that I carry with me. And so I decided to start a new little journal. So I'm kind of back to where I am always with my Creative Daily Journal, and then just my personal journal that I write randomness in, write more personal, like I have it as a thing that I can take out and write in it, especially if I'm out and about, or I'm like, I've just got to get some stuff off my mind. And so that's just kind of what this little cute journal is. And I keep it in I make lists in it. I put a lot of pretty pictures. As you can see, I'm a little behind on writing because I've got it all in my head and I need to get it out because I can tell I am feeling a little bit on the stress side, and that always helps. So, but I've already kind of completed my March pages. A lot of catching up to do. Excuse me, but I'm not stressed about it because I love working in my journal, like on Friday and Saturday nights. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started and get April in so we can get her moving along. So I hope you guys that ordered the BBG Girls stickers or part of the subscription has received yours. I really I hustled for 3 or 4 days. I think I got 5 hours of sleep for a whole week trying to get all the orders out. So I hope they are in your pretty little hands and you're able to get move forward with April as well. So let's go ahead and get started. As you know, if you've been following me for a while, I use a little calendar from Susan Branch to put it into the journal as like a place to have all the dates in there. But if you are brand new here, welcome. I am a journaler and I love it very much. And so I keep a daily journal. Actually, this one really is daily. Every day I document something, and whether it's just one story, several stories, maybe sometimes it's just gluing things down or doing a collage or things like that. It's just a creative journal that I love to keep. And then I also have stickers that I have on my shop that are called BBG, and I know probably everybody's going, BBG, what does that mean? Well, I call them Big Brave Girls because they're the bigger stickers, unlike what I typically have, which is a smaller sticker. So that's kind of how the name came about. So let's play. So I think what I'm going to do on this one is I haven't played with my gelatos in a while, and I think I'm going to create like a little background for my journal for this page here. And I'm just going to get a couple of little blues and greens, and here's another blue. I was trying to get like maybe a little darker blue. So let's go ahead and play with these. So what I typically do with these is I create backgrounds. I use them in my canvases as well, which I haven't done a canvas in a long time. That's on my to-do list for the upcoming months. March and April are just going to be chaotic, and so I'm just coming to terms with that and in survival mode. That sounds terrible. It's not that I'm in survival mode. I love it, but it's just right now there's just so much going on. So, but anyway, what I do is I just kind of create backgrounds with these, or if I'm doing a canvas, I do a lot of shadowing, but I just take a wet one and I just smear the gelatos around, and they create like this really pretty background. And I actually bought some fairly inexpensive when I was first buying these when I was doing my canvases, and then I really kind of ran out, and so I just recently, I guess maybe last summer, bought a little bit more to play around with. Maybe do some yellow up here, and then do some darker green. Actually, I think that's about the same color. But again, it's kind of like another form of just adding some color to it. When I use it like this, it's just adding some color to the background. Now I have, in my use of these, it kind of creates like a waxy. I've asked other people that have used them that it doesn't really kind of create a waxy. I guess it depends on how much of the what do you call this? The gelato, but it's kind of like a waxy crayon. And so I guess if you really get it and smear it really good, then maybe it doesn't. But I've had some, like especially when I use it in my canvases, I have to make sure I'm not going to be doing any kind of writing on that area. And sometimes I run into the same problems with this, sometimes I don't. Like I said, I think it really depends on the thickness of the actual color that's left on here. So let's go ahead, and it is a little moist, so we're going to just kind of let that dry a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and add my calendar pages. And I love Susan Branch. She's like one of my favorite artists and authors. So we are in April. And I think I'm going to actually trim this particular journal is actually a little bit smaller than what I usually use for composition book. It's a little bit smaller composition book. So it doesn't, I notice now that this page is a little smaller. And the reason I want to keep, I don't want to glue it straight down, because look how beautiful that is. She's so adorable. And I think I'm going to have it like maybe right here. So I'm just going to tip her in, which I know a lot of times, every time I say tip in, they're like, what's a tip in? But it's basically adding a another form of kind of tipping in paper, or adding a fold out, I guess you could say it was a fold out. And this is actually washi tape that I had in a kit a while back, but it's little mushrooms and it's so cute. It's got, but they look like little stamps, and I just love, this washi. Plus it's really, really good. And I think I'm just going to clip it right here, because I'm afraid if I put it directly on there, the paper is still a little, it's not, yeah, it's still a little moist. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that. And then we're going to add our girl on here. So the BBG girls, if you're not familiar, they come with 3 large sheets of paper. And this month is ducks and yellow days of the week. I just love the ducks. And I'm going to see how big this April is going to take up space here. Whoop. Uh-oh. I think I can put her like right here on the edge. And then put my April right here. And I think what I'm going to do is save this little space here. Normally I would kind of fill it in with this. I might go ahead, and since she does have her raincoat on, add some little raindrops here and there. Add this. But I think I'm going to actually come in here and put a quote. and leave that as is. And what I'll do is I'll cut these up and put them in the front, because you guys, you know, I've talked about it a million times if you've been here, I always lose my numbers. So let's go back over here and go ahead and add this washi again. I think I'm just going to do to this so I don't cut the stamp and say, because I'm getting low on that and I absolutely love it. But just add just a little bit to do a reinforcement on that side. So what I was kind of thinking is I recently bought this ribbon actually literally just this week. I went to Antique Show, and let me show you all the pretty ribbon. I got this velvety ribbon here. I got this cute little floral ribbon, this floral ribbon, and these two. Whoops. And so I can't wait to use them in my journals. But I thought the velvety one reminds me of, you know, I know it's Christmas, but I love having like different textures in my journal. And then I have these flowers here. They're actually supposed to be like coasters. I picked up at Dollar Tree. And I think I'm going to use one, I don't know, in here. Let me see. I have a little paper doily. Let's just kind of play around and see what we can come up with. Maybe do that. Or maybe do, oh, that's pretty. More of a contrast. I think that's what we'll do. And then I think to like add a little bit of different flair to it. Let's see which one would. This one. We're going to make some little stems here. I tell you what, those, so a little background story. I live really close to like Round Top and Antique Show here, close to Houston. And I remember growing up, and I think I've shared this story plenty of times, but I'll share it again. I looked at Country Living magazine. I would babysit, and like that was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't wait to go see what the newest country living magazine had in store. And oh my gosh, I always saw that they would go to Round Top, and I was like, oh, it's so far, I'm never gonna, you know, I always dreamed of going. Well, when I moved further out here, not where I live now, but at the house we had beforehand, it's still a drive, but it was definitely, I mean, not, believe me, it's not that big of a drive. But I remember we found a place called Warrington. And so the difference is about 5 miles, and Round Top is more, I really don't know because I haven't really been, but I mean, those are like your true antiques type dealers. I haven't ever been up that direction because I always go to Warrington because they have this one area that we call the field, and in the field is where you have all the inexpensive, you know, you may be able to find big treasures, and not necessarily cheap, handmade. It could be handmade, it could be a lot of antiques, a lot of junk, you know, stuff like what I liked. And so I always end up shopping there, but I'm always like, you know, we ought to go somewhere else. But a lot of times I've gone, like, there's this place across the way from the field, and it's just more expensive. And so I love going to, they have like dollar tables, and you can like, you know, I love shopping the dollar tables because you just never know what you're going to find. And they have linens, they have, I mean, anything and everything. Lots of vintage clothing, which they used to not have many years ago when I used to go, but Anyway, it's just kind of fun because I always think about how much I wanted to go to this antique show, this Junkin, and now I literally live, I mean, right here. It's fun. Okay, put this little guy here. It's so cute. I love, you know, like filling the different fabrics. And then what I might do here too is kind of like maybe come in with some markers. And just do some little doodling. Around it. And a lot of these pages too are, what's fun is you can come in here and add as you go. Anything goes. Let's do this yellow. Maybe I can find some little Easter eggs or something. Put some cute little Easter eggs down there. So yeah, ooh, oh no, got some issues with my glue. Okay, so we got this down. We got her, which is so cute. But I think what I'm going to do is just kind of maybe I'll do a quote on rain. I'm going to look at my my Susan Branch quote book and see what I can find. All right. And I'm going to add a quote there. So, I love it, you guys. I love the entry. All right. Well, thanks for following along as I set my journal up for April. And I hope you guys are having a super sparkly end of the month of March. And April is here. All right, you guys. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.